Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvell. Coming to you from the Future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, it's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
Welcome to College Sports Today on a Monday. The head ball coach is with us, of course, Steve Spurrier. I'm Terry Norvell. A lot of college football over the weekend, Coach, to review and talk about. A lot of situations, quarterback situations, and another great week of football highlighted coming up this weekend. Florida, Alabama. We've made it to Florida, Alabama week. But, Coach, let's lead things off. By the way, I want to thank our sponsors, Allen Law Firm, the title sponsor of our show, Allen Law Firm. I'll tell you all about how you can get in touch with the good folks at Allen Law Firm if you've been in an accident or have been injured. Very simple, pound yes on your phone, pound YES. And, of course, we are broadcasting inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, and we like to call it the Future Home Loans Studio. Coach, storylines everywhere in college football, but, man, not too far from where we sit at the Florida practice field. Quarterback situation. Florida gets a win. Emory Jones plays lights out in the first half. A couple passes got away from him in the second half. Anthony Richardson did his thing again. What did you see Saturday with the quarterbacks, and how tough is Dan Mullen's decision moving ahead if Richardson's healthy?
Yeah, I think their performances, both of them, was maybe similar to the first week.
Yes, it was.
You know, Anthony has another long run for TD and so forth, and I don't know if he pulled his hamstring.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't read if he's hurt or not. But I think Coach Mullen has already stated that Emory's our starter, and we'll go from there. Obviously, Anthony will be in there a lot. We don't know how much yet. I think it will depend on how maybe Emory plays starting the game. But we got two quarterbacks ready, and obviously Emory needs to not throw interceptions.
Sure.
I read where he's already thrown four, and Kyle Trask only threw 8 all of last year.
How about that?
And that's when we were throwing it 40 to 50 times a game. So he needs to cut down on those, that's for sure. But Anthony Richardson, he's a talent. Everybody in America knows that. So I think it's a matter of time when he starts playing a little bit more. And
you look at Anthony Richardson, just physicality. What he seems to be able to do athletically with his size, he may be a special player. I mean, he may be a Cam Newton type, a Johnny Manziel, a Tim Tebow, a special player. But also, Coach, there's a lot in a playbook if you're the quarterback. You got to know the playbook. And if you're limited in the playbook, I'm not saying Anthony is, but he may be. Getting back to Emory, though, really good first half. He really threw some nice passes and touchdown pass, and he ran it well. You look at the 2 interceptions, and yes, Coach Spurrier, he threw 2 interceptions. I look back, though, at Emory. If those 2 interceptions Saturday against South Florida were just standard incompletions, the whole narrative may be changed. If they were just incompletions, but they weren't. They were ugly interceptions, and that really has kicked it up. But the thing, too, is Emory does so many things well, and then he has just a play or 2 that gets away. But he does so many things well. He had a big game, really. If you take those 2 away, you can't take them away, but he had a big game.
Yeah, he played he played pretty well, no question about it. The fact is that Anthony Richardson is a super talent, as we all know. And, maybe they both will play all season. We got to wait and see.
Yeah, interesting. And one of the big storylines in college football, Florida gets the win, obviously. The number 1 ranked team in the nation, Alabama, rolls in on Saturday, 3:30 kickoff, sold out. It should be a packed swamp. Alabama, the defending national champions, the longest winning streak in college football currently. Coach, we're going to hear this stat a lot, and I think I've got this right. Nick Saban in Alabama, the last SEC East program to beat Nick Saban in Alabama. Do you know who it is?
I've heard it. I've heard it for the last 10
Yes,
years.
you have.
Yeah, it was 11 years ago. Yeah, 11 years ago. We beat them at Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia.
Yeah.
It was a day that we played maybe one of the best games Stephen Garcia ever played in his life.
Right.
And Marcus Lattimore ran for about 100. Alshon Jeffrey caught a couple touchdown passes. Yeah, we really played well, and they did not play well. McElroy, their quarterback, got sacked about 7 times. They missed an extra point, and then they went for 2 and didn't make it. I mean, they had all kind of miscues, and that's how we upset them.
Yeah, great stat, though. I mean, tip of the hat to Alabama. They have not lost to an SEC East program since Coach Spurrier's South Carolina team knocked them off.
And they've been playing Georgia 4 or 5 times in there, too. So it's not like they've been playing Vandy or somebody else. Of course, they hadn't lost hardly to anybody. LSU did get them a couple of years ago. That's probably the last conference game I think they've lost.
Sure. Speaking of the few Alabama losses in the last several years, the prescription is you're not necessarily going to beat Alabama by having a back go for 175. You got to get dynamic quarterback play. Think about the teams that beat them. Joe Burrow recently, dynamic quarterback play. Burrow years ago, but Johnny Manziel, dynamic quarterback play that day in Tuscaloosa. Your guy, what was he, 17? Stephen Garcia was what? 17 of 20?
17 of 20, yeah. And so we only threw 20 passes.
Yeah.
And we tried to stay on the field, which we did very well also. Like I said, Marcus Lattimore had a good day. I think he scored 3 touchdowns. And we scored touchdowns and did not kick field goals.
Didn't kick field goals.
And
didn't kick field goals.
I go back, a lot of games we lost is because we had to kick a bunch of little field goals instead of getting touchdowns. So that's also a big key to upsetting a team is scoring touchdowns.
Let's hit a couple more topics, take a break, come back, and then we'll cover all the stuff that we don't get to here in this first segment. So Florida, obviously, 2-0. Alabama comes in, the game of the week, the game that's been talked about in these parts for a long, long time. Quarterback situation, we'll see how that plays out. Not too far from where we're at, just a miserable end-game performance for Florida State. Just shocking how you get beat over the top in that situation. 6 seconds remaining, FSU on defense, leading by 3. And, Coach, pick it up from there. Weird play, strange play, but maybe some strategic errors were thrown out there.
In my opinion, a strategic coaching error. Whoever called that coverage, and I was reading the paper actually today, and they said we were playing a 5 short, 2 deep, which means 5 short, where we're going to take away every 10 to 15-yard pass. Well, guess what? That's what you wanted to throw, to 10 or 15.
Exactly.
It's always amazing to me that defensive coaches play that when the other team has to throw the ball deep down the field. And common sense, I think everybody out there watches football. If the other team has to throw the ball 40 yards, why don't you line up about 4 guys at 40 yards, okay?
Yeah.
They throw it in front, we tackle them and win the game.
Sure.
But just line up back there and make a fight for the ball and jump ball, something like that. But FSU had nobody back there. The kid runs behind 1 or 2 of them, cuts back on 2 others. Nobody was even chasing. And all they had to do was keep the ball in the ballpark to win the game. So that was sad. I feel for those FSU players, and I feel sad for the coach that called that coverage because that's not a good coverage at the end of the game. You know, it's pretty simple to me in football. Why don't you cover that first down line or where they have to throw the ball to win the game? And they didn't have guys back there for whatever reason. I don't know.
And to rub more salt in the wound, 6 seconds left. When that long pass was thrown and caught, obviously the 6 seconds were burnt. If you can get the guy down. And he caught it at the 20. He didn't catch it at the goal line. He caught it at the 20-yard line, Coach, and then went diagonally across, as you saw, with 2 FSU players. You got to force him into one of your other teammates or something. But he caught it at the 20 to rub salt in the wound, not at the goal line, at the 20. Tough loss, FSU.
Yeah, Jacksonville State had lost to UAB 31-0 the week before, so they were not a top team. But anyway, that was a sad one for FSU, and Coach Norvell's got to really fight hard to get his guys back up.
I tell you,
that is disheartening to lose that one.
It is tough, and they're not only 0-2, they've burnt 2 home games, right? So that's 2 home games they've lost, right? So tough one for FSU. Miami pulls one out. Frankly, I picked Miami, got that pick right. I watched most of that Miami App State game. I know this sounds nuts. I think App State was better than Miami the other night. I thought they played. You mentioned, I think you or Shane mentioned Friday, App State. They got ball players. They play hard. Those kids, App State played hard. They had a good plan.
They got a rich tradition up there, and when you're used to winning, and they pretty much win their conference or fight for it every year. They're up there fighting for it. They're going to give it all they got, and they almost had another big road victory against a big team.
Miami pulled it out at the end, but man, I thought App State probably outplayed Miami. I know that sounds crazy. I know who won. I was glad I picked Miami to win, but boy, I thought App State took it to the Canes, and they had that kid Chase Bryce who started at Clemson. And boy, he's maybe not an NFL quarterback, but boy, he ran that game for them. He hit big passes. They had a real nice receiver. I was real impressed. Before we move on to a break, come back, we got a lot of stuff, including a big win by Oregon. The Big Ten looks good. The SEC looks strong. We'll get into all that. Coach, real quick, getting back to the Florida quarterback situation, Emory Jones. I noticed one thing. Tell me if this is a thing or not. It may not be a thing. Emory's had moments where he kind of almost loses focus to me. I've noticed 2 things. Emory in the season opener, first 2 drives, leads Florida down, score. Then he kind of loses focus at 14-0. He kind of loses focus. The other day in Tampa, he played a hell of a first half. Second half, where he had his issues, it was 35-3. Is it, Coach, is it maybe mental with him? He loses the edge because they're up 14-0, they're up 35-3. That's when he starts playing bad. Is there anything to that or no?
I don't know.
Mental?
You'll have to ask him.
Yeah.
Or his quarterback coach, McGee.
Yeah.
Garrett McGee is his name. But obviously, you try to get your players to play the best they can the entire game.
Yeah.
And maybe that's something they could talk about,
Yeah, I just noticed he got loose in both games. Up 14-0, he starts getting loose. Up 35-3, he starts getting loose. Interesting, but it's going to play out somehow, some way. And Saturday, big bad Alabama. Before we go to break, Alabama is biggest opponent to come into the swamp in a long time.
I think the last number 1 team that came in was FSU in '97.
When you guys took on,
no one can remember another number 1 team in the nation coming in. So, we're fortunate to upset them that night.
Yeah.
That was the Quasi Green curling goal from Doug Johnson, and then Fred Taylor took it the rest of the way. So that was a good win for the Gators, a bad one for FSU because that knocked them out of the national championship that year.
There you have it. So big one, obviously, Florida and Alabama, 3:30 CBS. By the way, I want to get this out. Obviously, our home where we broadcast here, Future Home Loan Studio, inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Visors, the wonderful Visors, grand opening Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, 6 p.m. It's going to be a great time. That place up top is something, too.
Yeah, it is. The Visors rooftop bar.
A little more casual.
Yeah, we got some fans up there. So if it's a hot day, it's bearable up there. But obviously about 7 or 8 at night, it's very pleasant. So the rooftop bar is officially open this week, as well as the restaurant. And business has been very good, so we appreciate all the people coming out.
And again, upstairs Visors, open air, obviously covered and all, but open air, a little more casual, a little more kind of relaxed up top, if that's what you want to do, is go. Or, the downstairs here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, more of a sit down, have yourself a official, formal meal and everything. There's bars and everything everywhere, but Visors is just a little more, just go.
A little bit more bar than restaurant.
Yeah,
and the
restaurant's,
restaurant's a restaurant down below here.
Well said. Take a break here on a Monday. College Sports Today. Feel free to drop some Facebook Lives. Deanna said hi, and Ken and some other people. If you got questions, comments, or thoughts, feel free to drop it on Facebook Live, and we'll try and get to those. About 20 more minutes with the head ball coach. We'll come back on a Monday edition. It is College Sports Today.
Unlike many lawyers you see on TV, I've lived here most of my life. Unlike those out-of-town lawyers, I'm personally involved with all of my clients, and they can reach me 24/7 if they need to. I'm right here for my clients right now. Me, not a case manager, and certainly not a lawyer you've never met and don't know. When it comes to something as important as your injury case, let me show you how personal and local stacks up against impersonal and not local. I think you'll like the difference.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
Back here on a Monday edition, Coach Steve Spurrier is here. I'm Terry Norvell. Thank you for tuning in. College Sports Today, wrapping up a big weekend, week 2 of college football, and previewing the upcoming week 3. The show, College Sports Today, presented by our title sponsor, the Allen Law Firm, offices in Gainesville and Ocala. We are coming to you from the Future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Future Home Loans, well over 2,000 five-star reviews. That tells you a lot about that company. Robert Lynn, a veteran, proud owner and operator. He's hands-on in his company. He takes great pride in Future Home Loans. The relationships they have built over 4 years with many, many lenders, they can get the proper transaction for you, stress-free, and get the one set up that fits your situation when you're in the market to purchase a home. Thank you to Future Home Loans. Coach Spurrier, a lot of good stuff over the weekend. Probably the best game, the best performance Saturday, all things considered, was the noon game. Oregon comes into Columbus, Coach, missing not one starting five-star defensive player. Thibodeau didn't play. 2, Justin Flo is also a five-star linebacker, good player. 2 starting defensive players, star players, don't play. Oregon, what an impressive win over Ohio State.
Yeah, they outplayed Ohio State.
Really did.
What, 35-28, I think it was. And they scored touchdowns. Didn't have to kick field goals. And Yeah, they're very impressive. They
Really were.
and Ohio State, they're beatable. Everybody's beatable. So it was a good win for Oregon, and right now Ohio State and Clemson, I guess, are everybody's top 4 teams. They're going to have to make a comeback, but they can still do it. They can still win their conference and get into the Final Four, I think.
Well, that was impressive by Oregon. Anthony Brown, 3-year starter at Boston College, transferred. He played well. He directed, and that little scat back Verdell, C.J. Verdell for Oregon, great game. Oregon was more physical. And obviously Ohio State, this is not the defense we're used to seeing. They're rebuilding the one defense. People are running on them. They're running on them a lot. And Ohio State, Coach, they threw 54 passes. That's not Ohio State football. They had to, and they can't run it real well.
Yeah, they're not running as well as they used to. So, but I'll tell you, my team of last week.
Who was that?
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
How about that one?
They should have beat them worse. They had to kick a bunch of little field goals from around the 5
Speaking of physical
line. But they clobbered Texas. They really did. I mean, it could have been a 52-17 or something like that. What was it, 41-17
or something like that. They beat them bad.
Yeah,
beat them bad.
They could have beat them worse. So
never in doubt.
They're going to be in the hunt for that Western Division. I really believe that.
And they're taking on that Sam Pittman tough, win the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, they're physical, big guys, strong guys, run the ball, stop the run. That's still football. Everybody talks about nowadays you have to throw the ball. But the Army coach, Jeff Monken, he said something the other day. I was listening to one of those radio shows. Right. He said 83% of the teams that win last week ran the ball for more yards than their opponent. 83%. And when they beat Georgia State, they had the ball for 42 of the 60 minutes. Georgia State had the ball 18 minutes. So if you can stay on the field and run the ball, you can still win the game. And those teams that can do that got a little bit better chance, I'm telling you.
How about that? But good segue into a nice weekend for the SEC. The SEC, I thought, had another good weekend. Arkansas, a national game. Really, that game was never in doubt. Arkansas really beat up Texas. I'll tell you, an impressive game. And don't look now, but this makes the SEC East really tough. That damn Kentucky-Missouri game, those two teams are good. Did you watch a lot of that game?
Yeah,
Kentucky won. Talk about that. I mean, they're both going to be real tough outs for anybody that plays them.
I tell you what, when Missouri blocked that field goal, they were down 7, and the guy, he didn't get it on the bounce, so he fell on it.
Yes.
The other team could have fell on it. He wouldn't have lost anything.
Right there to him, didn't it?
He should have dribbled that ball forward or something.
Yeah.
And then even lateral it because
something.
Kentucky had nobody but their
that
kicker.
Was their chance.
Their kicker and their holders, the last guys on the field. And, he fell on it. And, of course, they didn't score. So Coach Drinkowitz has got to go over what do you do with a blocked field goal? You pick it up and run. Because if you
and it bounced nice for him.
If you don't get it and it goes as a fumble, you're still going to get the ball.
Absolutely.
But that's that's a little something you got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Because you're not thinking it's going to happen.
No. But that was a hell of a game. Two good teams. They're both good football teams.
He should have dribbled that ball forward the best he could and pick it up if he could have.
You agree, though, right? They're two good football teams. They're going to be tough outs.
They're both capable. Yeah, they're both very capable.
They're going to be real tough outs. Now, staying in the SEC, and I know a lot of people will look at the score and even watch this game I'm going to bring up and go, Terry, what are you talking about? I'm going to tell you right now into that camera, that was a gut check win for Texas A&M. They are on the road at a good Colorado team, okay? They're playing a neutral site, but they're playing in Denver. And, Coach, I don't know if you know how that played out. Texas A&M, number one, they have a brand-new quarterback. Haynes King played one game last week. Their starting so obviously their offense is not cohesive yet because they've got a new starting quarterback. Coach, Haynes King gets injured 5 minutes into the game. Texas A&M, their world is spinning. They're on the road. Colorado's pretty good. The new quarterback came in for A&M. They were holding on for dear life. And Jimbo somehow, some way got out of there with a 10-7 win. That was a gut check win with all the things that happened early in that ballgame.
Yeah, Spiller ran a little flattened up, and the quarterback got out of the pocket. If they'd contained him in the pocket, I don't even know if you'd ever seen him.
Sure.
But, that play won the game for him, that one play. I tell you what, I didn't know Colorado was that fired up about football. That crowd was packed
Great
in.
crowd.
Packed in, going crazy.
Great crowd.
And I said, Colorado? The Buffaloes?
And that damn linebacker for Colorado
Oh,
made 1,000 tackles.
Man, it was like an SEC crowd out there. It was,
A&M took
unbelievable.
about 25,000. It was a great crowd.
Yeah, they took a good crowd
But
with them. That's true.
you know what?
Yeah.
Much like March Madness, Coach, as you know, you've been through the wars many times.
Mm-hmm.
Some Saturdays, things are going against you, and it's going 100 miles an hour, and you go, we just got to get a win. Get a win and get on the plane. Get a win, get on the bus. They got a win and got on the bus and got on the plane, and they needed it. That was a good, solid win looking back. Now, how injured is Haynes King? We don't know. Calzada, the guy that came in, you could see the game was so fast for him. He probably didn't think he was going to get thrown in the game, and he had his moments. But A&M ended up taking over that game in the second half. They fumbled at the goal line, but they pretty much dominated that second half. That was a gut check win, I thought, for Texas A&M. So I thought it was a real good weekend for the SEC. Let me go back real quick to the Oregon game, and I started tweeting this out Saturday. Oregon goes into Columbus and gets the national win. Big win for the Pac-12 as well, Coach. I think you'd agree. I'm a big Mario Cristobal guy. He goes out to Oregon, and he's recruited like crazy. He's changed them back into a physical and athletic. I started tweeting this out, and some people didn't remember this. Do you realize Mario Cristobal, who has turned Oregon back into a pretty good power now, he's recruiting great players, FIU fired him. Coach, FIU fired that guy.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Well, he wasn't winning down there.
But they just started the program. I think it was the first coach, right?
Yeah.
They fired Mario Cristobal.
Wow.
That's just crazy to think back. Coach, before we get out of here with you, I want some of your topics. Let me throw this out. Ohio State, if you're the rest of the Big Ten, and I think Ohio State's pretty good, they're just not dominant on defense. If you're the rest of the Big Ten, you got to be looking up and saying, this has got to be the year we break the stranglehold of Ohio State and the Big Ten, right? This is that year, right? And, I mean, I hate to put a lot of early pressure, but if Jim Harbaugh and the boys, Michigan fans going to say, this is the year you got to go beat Ohio State. Thoughts on that? Is this the year the Big Ten finally, because they've won that thing for many years.
They have, and Michigan's got a good team. They're a good-looking bunch of athletes all up and down. And I wish they had a little bit more explosive offensive plays.
A little bit of this,
Yeah, they don't do as much on offense as they maybe could, I think. But they're going to be there at the end.
Yeah.
They got a real good chance to beat Ohio State.
Yeah.
But that day, whoever plays the best and coaches the best will win the game.
Yeah, I think I read, was that Ryan Day's first regular season loss at Ohio State?
Regular season loss.
Is that his first one?
Hadn't lost during the
Is that
season.
right?
That's correct.
Yeah, that's something. But boy, I know the rest of the Big Ten must be looking around going, okay, if not this year, when? And by the way, nice win for Iowa. Iowa went into a snake pit, Iowa State, and Iowa really dominated that football game. That was a nice win. And they might be the favorites right now in the Big Ten.
Yeah, it was my second team, Iowa.
Is that right?
And, of course, I picked Iowa State last week.
Same here.
Because it
Same
was
here.
at
Same here.
Iowa State.
Yeah.
And that stadium was packed, going crazy.
Great crowd.
The Cyclones of Iowa State.
Yeah.
And
Great crowd.
I mean, we think we love football here. Hey, they love it up there just as much.
Yes, they do.
I'm telling you, they were going
Good
crazy.
win by Iowa. That was a good win. They're
That was
good.
very good.
They've won
That was-
2 ranked games so far.
That was a tough game. They both went at it.
Yeah.
Both teams competed their hearts out, and they play for some trophy, the state champ trophy there.
Yeah.
So it was a big win for Iowa.
And Campbell has yet to beat, the Iowa State coach has yet to beat Iowa.
Right. They
He's
hadn't
knocked
beaten-
off Oklahoma a couple times, but he can't beat Iowa. He's like
Iowa's-
0-5.
And that's a big game in that state.
That is a big
Definitely.
game. We'll leave you on this, Coach. I know you saw this, but to rub more salt in the FSU wound from Saturday night, Jacksonville State goes in and gets the win. They plant the flag at midfield in Doak Campbell.
I saw that at the end.
They planted the flag. Jacksonville State planted a flag on your field.
Well, does FSU go to Jacksonville State
No.
next year? I
No,
don't think so.
no.
So,
No.
yeah, Baker Mayfield, of course, did that.
Started that
at
with
Ohio
Ohio
State.
State.
And anyway.
Did you hear what happened at Ohio State? Oregon goes in. Speaking of Ohio State, Oregon goes in, gets the win, and well after the game, there's a shot of it. Somebody for the Oregon group put a little rubber ducky at midfield in the O of Ohio. They planted a little rubber ducky. I mean, That's college football, isn't it?
Yeah, it's no big deal.
That is college football. Coach, anything we're missing on your notes? We're going to take one more break and let you get about your business. While you're looking, remember, Visors grand opening this Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 6 p.m., the upstairs. You want to check it out. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where we broadcast inside our Future Home Loan studio. It is a Monday College Sports Today show. Our title sponsor, of course, the Allen Law Firm. We miss anything, Coach?
Well, the other team keep an eye on this year is the Auburn. The War Eagle from Auburn there. They are
scoring points.
I think they're going to have a big year. So I know they haven't beat anybody that's very good yet, but the way they play, they're very impressive. So we'll keep an eye on Auburn and Arkansas. Those are the two SEC teams that we didn't think were going to be
might come out
near the top.
Yeah.
And they got a chance to be near the top.
Speaking of Auburn, some more Facebook Live comments here. Michael says Penn State is interesting. Auburn and Penn State kind of hidden a little bit behind Florida, Alabama. Auburn at Penn State. And Danny Jack Nasser checks in and says, go Gators. But, Penn State looked tough, too. The Big Ten looked pretty good early as well. But what do you make of Auburn? The opposition's not great, but, boy, they're scoring points. And it looks like Bo Nix might be getting comfortable.
Yeah, they've got him playing like a quarterback.
Yeah,
I think he actually goes back and looks down the field at the receivers now instead of maybe looking for a pass rusher to dodge or something like that.
Yeah.
But, he's played extremely well the first two games. And they got a nice system there, new coaching staff. I know the Auburn people, they're all happy right now.
Yeah.
So we'll again, wait and see how it plays out.
There you have it. We'll get back together with Coach Spurrier on Friday. A lot of good games to pick. I mentioned Auburn is at Penn State, obviously Florida, Alabama. You've got Nebraska, Oklahoma. It's just going to be neat that they're back together. Florida State, Wake Forest, tough pick right there. South Carolina's at Georgia. We didn't get much into Georgia because they won big. Virginia at North Carolina. I watched a lot of. Virginia has got a good football team. They got a good quarterback. They got receivers.
Yeah, they're right there as one of the best in the ACC.
I agree.
I don't know if they play Clemson this year or not.
I don't know if they get them in regular season.
But Virginia, North Carolina, would be a heck
good
of a game.
This Saturday, and there's a lot of good games.
Yeah.
We'll pick those
on
Friday.
And you know what's interesting as I watch them now? All the stadiums are full.
Packed.
I mean, almost everywhere.
Packed.
They're full. Fans are going crazy. We're not worried about the pandemic right now, although it's all over the place, as we all know. Just get vaccinated. I always just tell people, get vaccinated and wear your mask when they tell you to, and that's where we're at right now.
Coach, did you see the cat hanging from the rafters at Miami's game, and they saved it with an American flag?
Yeah, it was pretty neat, and that's and then they all clapped and hugged. Hey, we saved the cat. And I said, man, why can't Republicans and Democrats get together like that? Yeah, we're all on one team, but gosh, I wish we'd get more united here in America. And I think most people, football fans, wish the same thing.
It was so unique, too. What a special day, the remembrance. So there were a lot of flags everywhere and a lot of pride and a lot of red, white, and blue.
Yeah,
and the poor cat's dangling from the rafters, and they catch him in American flag.
Had the flag waiting on him. Yeah, that's pretty neat.
That was great. Coach, thanks for your time. We're going to take a break, let you get about running your business, and we'll have Coach Spurrier back on Friday, the next edition of College Sports Day. Back to wrap things up right after this timeout.
Unlike many lawyers you see on TV, I've lived here most of my life. Unlike those out-of-town lawyers, I'm personally involved with all of my clients, and they can reach me 24/7 if they need to. I'm right here for my clients right now. Me, not a case manager, and certainly not a lawyer you've never met and don't know. When it comes to something as important as your injury case, let me show you how personal and local stacks up against impersonal and not local. I think you'll like the difference.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell possible. Vida de Louis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Louis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development, go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvell, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvell, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
A few more moments here as we are starting to wrap up a Monday edition of College Sports Today, presented by the Allen Law Firm. Check them out now. A great way to get in touch with them via phone. So easy if you've been injured or have been in an accident or know somebody that you want to talk to some representation. On the phone, just pick up your phone and hit pound YES. Pound yes gets you through to the Allen Law Firm. Also, they have a great website, virtual consultation on the website. Go check their website out. AllenLaw.com, ALLEN, AllenLaw.com. We want to thank our studio sponsors. Well, we are inside the Future Home Loan Studios inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Robert Lynn and his organization do a super job. 4 years and counting. They've been operational and are growing all over the Southeast. They are the fastest growing mortgage lending company in the Southeast in 4 years. That explains a lot. They've got great relationships. They can find the exact situation that fits your situation when it comes to getting your financing squared away for your home purchase. Remember the name, Future Home Loans. Thanks to all of our sponsors. You saw them earlier. Remember, if you're making a trip, and I know a lot of you guys and young ladies are coming over this weekend for the big Alabama-Florida game here in Gainesville, and you're going to make a special trip to Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Place is rocking and rolling. Visors opens up, grand opening, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's the upstairs portion of Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. It opens at 6 p.m. When you're here, make sure you get the very, very refreshing Coco Loco drink. It is wonderful. It features Vida de Louis tequila. Oh man, I've had a million of them. They are good. The official tequila of college sports today, and tequila served right here inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is Vida de Louis. Friday, Coach Spurrier, and we'll have Shane Matthews on as well. We will do our picks contest. You know, we're well off and running with our Safe Harbor Seafood picks contest. Every week we keep it going cumulatively. We thank our friends at Safe Harbor Seafood. 2 locations. Crescent Beach is the new location of Safe Harbor Seafood. Of course, the original Safe Harbor Seafood in Mayport. They also have the market where you can take that wonderful seafood, buy it right there. You can sit down and eat, or take that seafood with you at home and put it in your freezer. And it'll be at your house all the time. Thank you to Safe Harbor Seafood. Of course, their sister restaurant in Neptune Beach, Sliders Oyster Bar. I know a lot of you folks that go to Jacksonville for the big Florida-Georgia game. You know all about Sliders Oyster Bar, one of my favorite hangouts in my neck of the woods. Sliders. And also want to thank J.B. Coxwell Contracting, one of our sponsors, all types of site work. They do it all. J.B. Coxwell Contracting. We thank them for their support as well. Hey, big doings coming up on Saturday. Now, let me back up. Friday, our Friday edition of College Sports Day, as usual. This place will be rocking and rolling here in Gainesville with Florida, Alabama coming up this Saturday. So don't forget Friday, Coach Spurrier and Shane will be joining me, Terry Norvell, here on the program. We'll have our picks contest as usual. Saturday, if you're coming over or if you're in the Gainesville area, hey, come by and say hi on Saturday. Matt Hayes, the national sports writer, college football sports writer. Matt Hayes and I, we do a Saturday morning college football show on 1010XL 92.5 FM out of Jacksonville, the big station out of Jacksonville, which is the Jacksonville Gator affiliate and also the Jaguars affiliate, flagship station actually. We are going to move our show and do a special broadcast this Saturday from Gainesville. From 11 until 12:30, we will be set up live at the Sonny's Barbecue on Archer Road. Sonny's Barbecue on Archer Road. Come by. We're going to have a lot of swag, a lot of giveaways. I know Allen Law Firm is going to have a lot of stuff. We'll have some giveaways. Going to talk a lot of ball. If you're looking for a lunch, a big lunch before you head over to the stadium, or you're looking for some tailgate fare, go ahead and put your order in. Come by, say hi, pick it up, and talk some ball with us. Matt Hayes, Terry Norvell will both be broadcasting our Saturday show, our radio show at Sonny's Barbecue on Archer Road. We would love for you folks to come by this Saturday and say hi, talk some ball, get in the mood. That'll lead you right into kickoff, Florida, Alabama at 3:30. Thanks to everybody who put a comment here on Facebook Live. We appreciate it. We'll wrap up today's show. And as always, I want to thank Coach Steve Spurrier and, of course, our producer, Evan Miller. And finally, I want to thank you for watching and or listening and following on our podcast as well. We'll get back together Friday. We'll be a day away from Florida, Alabama this Friday, the next edition of College Sports Day. See you then, everybody.